Hi, I'm Lori Coates, BCBA and co-coordinator of the BATE team for Davis School District.
I'm Jocelyn Ruiz, BCBA and co-coordinator of the BATE team.
And I'm Crystal Martin, BCBA on the BATE team.
All right, we're back with another episode of BATE Debate topics we're tackling. BATE Debate, we address simple research-based behavioral practices that will work with individual students or groups of students in school settings. The questions and situations that we talk about are adapted from what we are hearing and seeing in schools. These are common struggles with students of all abilities. Although they are simple strategies, they will be effective at decreasing challenging behavior and making your day just a little bit easier. We're excited that we're able to share these strategies to make them available to SPED teachers, gen ed teachers, and all other staff working in schools. And again, don't forget to follow us, like us, share us on social media at behavior_in_progress on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube.
So, Justin, what's our basic topic for today?
Communication compass, or paying attention to communication. Crystal, why is this an important topic for school staff?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things that staff need to understand when working with students who have challenging behaviors is to understand that all behavior is communication. Lori, so how do we know what a student is communicating?
Well, this goes back to function, another one of our favorite topics. We love to talk about function and behavior. Taking time to determine what the student needs will help us. As we've discussed in previous episodes, students who have challenging behavior are usually trying to get away from something, get something, get attention, or get away from attention. And then there are some who are seeking sensory type things as well. If we look at ABC data and really attend to what the student is trying to communicate, what is the need that the student's trying to communicate? It'll help us and the team move forward more efficiently and with less challenging behavior getting in the way. Once you have determined what needs the student is trying to communicate, then you can get strategies in place to assist the student to communicate those needs and get their needs met. So, Jocelyn, should staff always comply with student communication requests?
In general, staff should respond to student communication. Sometimes a student may ask for something that we can't provide, such as a student asking to go home, but we should still respond to requests as closely as we can. In the example of the student wanting to go home, we might respond with something like, let's go look at our schedule and see when we can go home. It's not very helpful to respond with statements such as, well, so do I, even though that may be what we want to say. Staff should also pay attention to what the student is communicating and honor that communication from students. We don't need to get into power struggles over how the student made the request, because this could further escalate the situation. The student could escalate, or you could escalate further. It might be necessary for us to disregard the tone that the student used or any inappropriate or impolite words that may have been part of the request, and reinforce small steps toward appropriate communication. So for example, I think something that we often hear is the student telling us to go away. Sometimes they may add some words in there, like such as go get the F away from me.
Right.
In that moment, I'm not going to focus on how the student made that request. Instead, our response should align with teaching and modeling appropriate communication methods, reinforcing that appropriate functional communication. So I would say something like, thank you for letting me know. I'll give you 2 minutes, or something along those lines. And then also honoring those requests that students make. What about the student who has limited verbal communication skills?
Yeah, as you were saying, we want to try to accept and reinforce any attempts the students make to communicate. We need to utilize the communication systems that the student that they may have. Those might be apps on a tablet. They may be using picture cards like PECs or maybe even sign language. We can help to support these students by modeling communication for them. We can point to the picture cards. We can make sure that they're using their tablets to communicate. And we want to provide many opportunities for the students to engage in communication with their teachers and their peers. It's important to make sure that their communication system travels with them and that it's always available for them to use. We don't want to take it away from them or at all.
Yeah, it's their voice.
Yes,
their
yeah,
voice.
it is their
Yeah.
voice, so we want them to have it. Lori, what about the student with excellent verbal communication skills?
Well, I think it's really important for us to remember that excellent verbal skills may not always be present during escalation, even if I have them. Adapting our communication during escalation is one of the keys to successfully managing these escalated situations. Although the student may be using a lot of words, and as Jocelyn pointed out earlier, they could be a lot of colorful words in their attempt to communicate, they still may not be able to process what's going on around them. So we want to really look at how we can help the student during the escalation. And some of those strategies that we can use is using a quieter voice, slowing down our pace, pausing, just pausing and waiting, and also less words, which we've talked about before. Students may just need more processing time, and we need to be able to provide that as well as we can. Sometimes they may have difficulty processing anything that's happening around them in escalation. So then if we use more words during that time and we are talking with the student, we're going to have more difficulty with managing those escalations. So as we've talked about before, less is more. Less words are more effective. Well, thank you for tuning into this episode of the BATE Debate. We're so excited to have this opportunity to share strategies, behavior strategies. Having strategies to help with students in their communication is essential when working with challenging behaviors. We hope the information presented today was meaningful, and that just to let you know, we have more exciting topics to come forward that will keep you and your educated friends reeled in. Just like and share on social media, and catch you next time.